Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from Efficient Access 1350 and says, am I the arsehole here for telling my boyfriend he shouldn't take his girl best friend for a couple's costume for Halloween? I don't know. I think I may be wrong. My boyfriend, 26 male, and I, 23 female, have been together for 8 months. He is very kind to me and has never raised his voice or lost his temper with me. I was introduced to his friends very early in our relationship, and I get along with them just fine. He and his friends have been friends from nursery days, and they are all very nice to me. He has a friend, Vivian, fake name, who along with his 2 other friends plan for Halloween every year months in advance. I've never doubted any foul play about them, and I have never wanted to be the jealous new girlfriend who ruins friendships. The problem is that my boyfriend works in a firm where they apparently throw Halloween parties. He goes with one of his friends every year, and this year was Vivian's turn to go with him, because last year he went with his friend Tom. Plus, he and Viv have a thing about scary costumes and horror, and they share the same love for Halloween. The thing is, I love Halloween too. My boyfriend knows that, and we share that common interest too. Granted, I can't just claim a common interest, but he didn't even ask me once if I wanted to go with him, since he and Viv started planning 2 months ago. We were dating then, and he never mentioned it to me. It's just that I thought he could have at least asked me. He mentioned to me 2 days ago that he and Viv had their couple's Halloween costumes ready, and if I wanted to see them. I did not feel as positive about it as I should have, and I guess it showed on my face because he asked what was wrong. And I asked him why he never asked me to go with him once. He didn't get mad, but said that he won't change his rituals with his friends for his relationship. He told me I knew about it early on, as he told me before. I felt hurt, and I told him that's a hurtful thing to say. And he didn't respond. He's been giving me the silent treatment. I've never expected him to dump plans with his friends for me, ever. I don't mind when he does escape rooms with Viv or always has hiking plans with Tom and the others. The only reason I thought he could have asked me is because I love Halloween too, and thought it was a common interest. But now I feel I stepped over the line, and I feel really awful. Am I the arsehole here? Whenever someone starts a post off with like, he's very kind to me and has never raised his voice or lost his temper with me, I always think, that's a pretty low bar. And my thoughts are, he said he won't change his rituals for you. So is that it for the rest of your relationship? Let's say you're together for the rest of your lives. He's never going to spend Halloween with you because that's his tradition. Seems a bit of a bizarre way of thinking, in my opinion. But Ranty McThrowaway says, not the arsehole, hold up. Did he really tell you word for word that his couple's costume was ready and asked you if you wanted to see them? Is he having a laugh? Then quotes he won't change his rituals with his friends for his relationship. Then says not even having a whole couple's costume with someone else. That's crazy. Part of being in a relationship is fitting your partner in with your friends, the things you normally do. I just think if he was really into you and Viv was really such a good friend, you'd be the +1 this time and she'd understand, because you are his girlfriend. Of course you're right to feel left out. If he can't see this from your perspective, I don't think he's cut out to be your boyfriend. Brief Horror says if he can't see what's wrong here, dump him. He's never raised his voice or yelled at me. So the bare minimum. You're keeping around a man who is blatantly disrespectful for the bare minimum. Ranty replies to that one saying, I always roll my eyes, lovingly and with an undertone of wanting better for them when I read posts like this, where the OP waxes lyrical about what a good guy their boyfriend is because he doesn't literally abuse me. He just shows me disrespect in small ways that make me question whether he actually respects me. But he doesn't yell at me or hit me or anything. The bar is so low. Your partner should like you. They should want you to be happy and should prioritize you in situations where doing so is reasonable. Another commenter says, so if this is a tradition that he was with his friends and it was established before you and he got together, it makes sense why he's doing a couple's costume with Viv. But, and quotes, he didn't get mad but said that he won't change his rituals with his friends for his relationships, and then says this is a red flag. Of course he should change his rituals with friends because of his relationship. He could have just told you he'd do a couple's costume with you next year, adding you to the rotation as it were. But just saying you're not as important as his friend relationship puts you at a lower priority. I do not want to be my boyfriend or girlfriend's second priority. And him keeping you apart from his activities with his friends is certainly another point against him. And one final commenter who says, seems like everyone here is on the side of OP. I think it will depend on whether these plans were made before or after meeting you, which I think everyone is missing the point. If a person makes an agreement with someone, they should keep that agreement, and the one that came after should respect it. I would also tell him that things will change for next year, so don't make any plans without you. OP says he made those plans 2 months ago. We were together then. So OP comes in, weather update, and says he apologized and we broke up. I didn't want to. Certainly not because he could have asked me to Halloween, but his response was he realized he was not someone who could give me the attention and care I deserved, and Vivian deserved better. I asked him if there was something between him and Viv, and get this, he is in love with her. Some people who DM'd me were right. Apparently Vivian doesn't know, and while I was crying and felt like I was going to have a panic attack, he was explaining their long history and how he was too much of a coward to tell her. Well, I guess that makes two of us because I was too much of a coward to ask if he even actually liked me. I'm a wreck. I took sick leave this week and luckily my professors were understanding. I feel like it's my fault. I didn't even want him to not go with Viv. All I did was ask why he did not think of taking me once, now that we were dating for almost a year. I know it wasn't my fault and it was for the best, but I'm constantly blaming myself for opening my mouth. My friends are telling me to go to a therapist, but with my grad school work and the mess of a person I am, I don't know what I'll do. I want to yell at him for wasting my time and hurting my feelings, even though he cried and apologized and kept saying that I deserve better. I know I do. I feel like Vivian won, even though she doesn't know and I have no right to be angry at her because it is all my ex. I don't think I'll update after this. Maybe if something big happens. And you can just imagine the comments after this one. A lot of people saying that they hope Vivian rejects him. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from Green Works For Me and says, am I the arsehole for not consoling my boyfriend because I make more money? Reddit, I need a gut check if I'm the arsehole or not. I make a good deal of money, which I know people will say I'm the arsehole already, but I live a very modest lifestyle. My monthly budget is 4k a month, and most months I profit 30k. I'm self-employed, so sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Next month, minor flex because I'm a non and I can, it'll be around 80k pre-tax. Woohoo! I have a boyfriend and we've been dating for 5 months. He's a good guy, but more traditional than I've ever dated before. He works as an assistant manager in a farming shop paying $15 an hour. We're both in our mid-30s and live in the arse end of nowhere. I only moved here to be close to my niece and nephew. No, he doesn't know what I make. We've only been dating a few months and I'm private about how much I'm squirreling away. I drive an older Kia, bought a standard 3-bedroom 2-bathroom house last year, but have almost paid it off. The issue is he saw one of my invoices to a vendor pop up on my notifications. Bill was about 5k. He was shocked I was paying that much. I told him it was the cost of doing business and he was like, must be nice to drop twice what a normal person makes a month on business. I'm usually water off a duck's back when it comes to conflict, so I told him it'd be nice if I didn't have to pay that bill at all. He dropped it, but I was getting the vibe from him the last few days. Seemed distant. I visited at his place and asked him what was wrong, and I guess seeing me pay someone $5,000 set him on a complete spiral. He's trying to figure out how he can be a man when I'm off paying other men more than he makes. I did not like the implications of that, like I'm a hooker or something, and asked him if he freaks out on farmers who drop thousands on equipment. He said it was different and asked how much I make. He hasn't asked before, which was a little on me because I always give the impression what I make isn't that impressive. I had a bad feeling, so I lied and told him 120k, which is officially my salary take. Hi IRS. If you know what S-Corps are, you have an idea what I mean. Anyway, he burst into tears. I think if I was nicer, I should have consoled him or something. I know he's feeling like a loser, which he's not. He has a cool job in my opinion, and he's super knowledgeable about farm stuff, which I find interesting. He's a pillar in the community because we're surrounded